Well, howdy, howdy. This is Cubbypotamus, and I am unloading pots. Now, last week, I had a pottery sale, like a craft fair I was going at, and I wasn't doing very well. Been a bit of a dry spot lately, and I was just kind of sitting there and not selling anything, getting rejected. Brought back a lot of bad memories. Well, of being ostracized, being rejected, right? And it kind of got me thinking, if I'm talking about autism, and I'm talking about it holistically, in such a way that people can understand, then you can't not talk about pain. If you were to break down our experience, and I guess maybe the things that we feel the most, or we spend the most time thinking about, one of the biggest features of our personality and our whole being is that we hurt a lot. Which, if you understand a few things about autism, that's not hard to understand. It's kind of a perfect storm for pain, right? First and foremost in that is that we get rejected a lot, and that people are very hard for us. Which, if you know anything about rejection, is that you experience rejection in the same place that you experience, physical pain. Rejection hurts. Human beings are very sociable creatures, we have needs, and autistic people are no exception. It isn't the being alone so much as the not belonging. Not belonging is kind of a kiss of death for social creatures like us, back in the old days, if you got banished from your tribe, you were a dead person, right? You were left to fend on yourself, and that's why human beings have such a very strong aversion to being rejected, right? And such a strong need to belong. 9% of, at least diagnosed autistic people are married. That's about 1/5 of the average, right? And that's just romantic relationships, which are in particular hard for us, but relationships in general. 9% married, and 9 times as many suicides as opposed to, just normal people. We kill ourselves 9 times as often. And part of that's part of the reason why we have a 54-year lifespan, right? Almost 25 years less than normal. And that's just the pain talking a lot of times, right? People who are chronically lonely and don't want company, right, live about 10 years less than people who, have relationships and friends and stuff like that. loneliness is every bit as unhealthy and dangerous, as smoking or being very overweight. Only that breaks your body. Lonely people die from a broken heart. And, probably know a lot more than autistic people. And part of that is a very strong tendency for us to be introverted, right? But a lot of it's, not being able to make friends, A lot of autistic people who are not really introverted, but they can't help from just driving people away, And they can be awkward or come across as rude, right? And they don't have a lot of friends, And it's painful. It's hard because, following your instincts, that don't help you. My instincts are like the worst thing I can do, is to do what comes naturally. Which naturally doesn't work for us. And so we hurt a lot. I don't know if it's 9 times as much as normal people, but I guess it kind of feels that way. And a lot of this pain has to do with how intensely, we feel things. And oftentimes there is no escape from yourself, right? And no escape from your thoughts because you can't stop thinking about them, right? And I've for years, just turned over the same thing constantly, all the time, every waking thought. And everything else in life, it's kind of like Charlie Brown, right? See the cartoons and the teachers talking, wah, 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 wah. Right? That's kind of how it is, you tune everything out. And your whole life is kind of reduced to this inner monologue. And you just can't stop thinking about things. And when it's good things, then you can kind of go over the moon. But when it's bad, there is no escape from that. And you feel hurt with such an amazing intensity, like you feel everything. So you have reason to hurt, and you're just prone to hurt by force of personality. Just the way you think about things. And it makes you sensitive, and it makes you, needy. Right? I mean, I think one of the worst things you can do with people is to try. And you're trying hard to socialize, trying hard to talk, it makes you awkward, right? And people can feel that on you. And then they don't want to be around you, right? But that's just the thing when, all of your natural instincts are just not to try. Which makes it very unnatural for a lot of us when we socialize because, it can't come from an easy place, a comfortable place. You know, it's hard to find your true voice a lot of times and to adapt to the conversation, right? You get derailed and you can't focus on what's being said. And that makes it very hard. I think that, you know, you're most hungry for the things that you don't have. Right? And the more you want it, you know, that acceptance, that pain to go away, the harder you try. And the more hungry you are, so it just snowballs. It gets worse and worse. And to understand autism, it's, you know, you have to understand pain, because that's probably one of our biggest features, you know, it's inseparable. You know, it comes with autism as much as laser focus or sensitivities, social awkwardness, being literal. It's just pain. And if you know an autistic person, then you probably know someone who hurts a lot. Last one. Yeah. Really need to do some more upbeat stuff, right? Lots of wonderful things about autism. But, I don't know, I guess kind of the foundational stuff is a little hard. Anyhow, that was Cubbypotamus. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you again soon.